The tractors of the 1970s and 80s weren't just machines, they were partners in every long day on the farm, built tough, built simple, and built to last. Today, we're counting down the 8 most reliable tractor engines of that era, machines that proved themselves season after season, and trust me, the engines on this list just keep getting better as we go. Number 8, the International Harvester 1066. We begin our countdown with a true Midwestern icon, the International Harvester 1066. For many farmers across Illinois, Iowa, and the Dakotas, the 1066 wasn't just another tractor. It was the machine that carried them through long days, heavy loads, and the kind of seasons that tested every bolt on the farm. Under its tall red hood sat the DT414 turbocharged diesel, a workhorse of an engine that built its reputation the honest way, thousands of hours, thousands of acres, year after year. 414 wasn't fancy, it wasn't over-engineered, it was simply strong, forgiving, and consistent, even when pushed hard. Pulling a chisel plow through sticky black soil or hauling full wagons up gravel roads, this engine kept its steady rhythm. Farmers knew that unmistakable sound, a deep, confident growl that meant the job was getting done. And then there was the power this tractor carried. The 1066 had enough torque to handle tough Midwestern clay without complaint. It climbed hills with ease and held its ground even when the work demanded every ounce of strength, yet strength alone didn't make it legendary. A big part of the 1060 SIX's charm was its simple, trustworthy transmission, with controls anyone could learn and mechanics anyone could service. It kept running even when the years piled up, parts were easy to find, and repairs, when they were needed, were well within the reach of most farm shops. This simplicity helped the 1066 stay alive long after newer machines came and went. But beyond the steel, beyond the horsepower, the 1066 held something deeper. It became a symbol of Midwestern farming in its golden era, a time when families worked together in the fields, when neighbors helped neighbors during harvest, and when a dependable tractor wasn't a luxury, it was the heart of the operation. The 1066 earned trust the way good neighbors do, by showing up every single day. But if you think the 10-66 is already a monument to reliability, the tractor at number 7 carries a steel heart that seems to run without ever getting tired. Number 7, Ford 8600. Have a tractor that earned its reputation the honest way, through long days, heavy work, and a kind of steady toughness that Ford was known for. This is the Ford 8600. For many farmers across the Midwest, the 8600 represented a shift toward bigger power without losing the simplicity they relied on, and at the heart of this machine was the Ford 401 cubic inch diesel, a dependable, easy-breathing engine that seemed to run cool even when the work around it heated up. It wasn't loud or flashy, didn't try to impress. Instead, it delivered exactly what farmers needed: smooth power, clean response, and a level of reliability that made it a trusted partner for long, demanding seasons. Its load-carrying ability was one of its greatest strengths, whether it was pulling a heavy plow across rolling black soil, running a baler for hours on end, or dragging full grain wagons through a muddy harvest field. The 8600 kept its footing. The controls were simple, the mechanics were accessible, you didn't need special tools or complicated training to keep this tractor running. Most farms could fix one in their own shop, and many did. That simplicity meant fewer surprises and more days spent working instead of waiting on repairs. It was the kind of tractor where you could pop the hood, get your hands dirty, and know exactly what you were looking at. And for many Midwestern farmers, that's exactly what made it special. This machine fit right into the rhythm of rural life, steady, patient, strong when it mattered most. Historically, the 8600 marked an important time for Ford. It helped the company stand tall in the horsepower race of the 1970s, proving that Ford could deliver a tractor with size, strength, and stamina, without losing the down-to-earth simplicity that farmers appreciated. It became a common sight across corn and soybean country, its blue silhouette rolling over fields at sunrise and sunset. And that's the quiet kind of legacy only a truly reliable tractor can leave behind. The Ford 8600 was respectable, but the number 6 model had a Perkins engine that Midwest farmers considered indestructible. Number 6. The Massey Ferguson 1105. For many farmers, especially across Missouri, Minnesota, and the rolling fields of the central Midwest, the 1105 wasn't just a dependable machine. It was a steady partner that proved itself season after season. At the heart of this tractor was the Perkins A 6.354 diesel, an engine remembered for one thing above all else: unshakable reliability. This six-cylinder Perkins wasn't aggressive or loud. Instead, it delivered a smooth, confident power that carried the tractor through long working days. Without complaint, the engine ran clean, started easily, and rarely asked for more than basic maintenance. Many farmers still tell stories of 1,105s running 10, even 12,000 hours before needing any major attention. One of the strengths that made the 1105 so beloved was its fuel efficiency. At a time when every gallon mattered, the Perkins engine sipped diesel instead of swallowing it. Whether the tractor was pulling a field cultivator in the spring or running a mower conditioner in the summer heat, the 1105 made a tank of fuel feel like it lasted just a bit longer. And in the tough economy of the 1970s, that mattered more than ever. But reliability and efficiency weren't its only gifts. The 1105 also brought impressive pulling ability to the table. Despite its moderate size, this tractor had a torque curve that just kept giving. It handled plows, discs, and heavy hay equipment with a quiet confidence that surprised many first-time operators. Even in sticky soil or uneven ground, the tractor held steady and pushed through. The Perkins engine didn't rush or strain. It simply pulled. Historically, the 1105 marked a strong chapter for Massey Ferguson. It showed that tractors didn't need to be oversized or overly complicated to make a lasting impact. They just needed to be reliable, efficient, and built with the farmer in mind. And the 1105 checked every one of those boxes. Decades later, the Massey Ferguson 1105 still carries that familiar sense of trust. A tractor that asked for little, but gave back so much. But if you like durability coupled with superior power, the one at number 5 will make you nod. Number 5. The White 2-135. We come to a tractor that never tried to boast, yet earned deep respect from the farmers who relied on it. A machine built for real work, with real strength. During a time when agriculture was changing fast and every hour in the field counted, at the core of the 2-135 was the Hercules 478 diesel, a bold, long-stroke engine known for its smooth power delivery and surprising durability. This engine wasn't rushed, it wasn't temperamental, it pulled with a steady, even heartbeat that many operators grew to trust. On cold mornings, it came to life with a deep rumble, and once warmed up, the 478 delivered the kind of torque that made heavy field work feel manageable, even on tough Midwestern soil. The transmission on the 2-135 felt solid and predictable, with shift points that worked well whether you were in tight field rows or heading down a gravel road with equipment behind you. The tractor's build quality, its frame, rear end, and hydraulics gave farmers confidence that this machine could take a beating and still be ready for another day. Where the 2-135 really shined, though, was in its pulling ability. This tractor didn't hesitate. It moved soil, pulled large tillage tools, and hauled heavy wagons with a calm, steady push that earned it a loyal following. Operators liked how the power came on, smooth, controlled, and dependable. There was nothing unstable or unpredictable about it. The 2-135 just dug in and worked, and through all of this, the tractor carried a strong sense of practicality. Historically, the 2-135 became an important chapter in White's story. During the late 1970s and early 1980s, challenging years for agriculture, this tractor proved that White could stand shoulder to shoulder with the bigger names, and while its paint scheme may not have been as iconic as the colors of its competitors, the 2-135 earned its place through hard work and honesty. Many farmers still remember it fondly as the tractor that never complained and never quit early. Today, decades later, you can still spot these machines running across fields, their Hercules engines humming steadily, their frames carrying the weight of many harvests. But next up was the green one, so famous that many called it this tractor that can't die. Number 4. The John Deere 4440. For countless farmers across the Midwest, this machine wasn't just reliable, it became the very symbol of what a dependable tractor should be: strong, steady, and always ready to work. At the heart of the 4440 was the legendary 466 cubic inch John Deere diesel, an engine known for running thousands of hours without losing its confidence. This engine didn't shout for attention, it simply delivered smooth power, deep torque, and a durability that bordered on unbelievable. Many of these engines worked through decade after decade, often surpassing 12,000 to 15,000 hours before anyone even thought about opening them up. The 466 became one of the most trusted tractor engines ever built, and the 4440 carried it proudly. Paired with that engine were two transmission options, power shift and quad range, each earning its own loyal following. Power shift offered clean, quick gear changes that made long days in the field feel easier. Quad range delivered flexibility and control, letting farmers match speed to the exact demands of the job. Both systems were tough, predictable, and built to last. Whether baling hay, pulling a chisel plow, or running a planter, the 4440 handled changes in terrain and load with a calm, confident stride. On frosty mornings in Minnesota, Iowa, or the Dakotas, when lesser tractors groaned and hesitated, the 4440 often fired up with surprising ease. That reliability on cold starts wasn't just convenient, it was vital. It meant cattle could be fed, fields could be tilled, and work could begin on time, no matter the temperature outside. Over the years, the 4440 earned a powerful nickname, the Iron Horse of the Midwest. Historically, the 4440 became one of John Deere's most celebrated successes. It helped define the 40 series as a turning point in agricultural machinery, and even today, decades later, you'll find these green giants still working on farms, selling at premium prices, and reminding everyone why they became legends in the first place: strong, dependable, unmistakably John Deere. But the third-place machine has a case engine that is famous for its ability to work continuously, from morning to night, without complaint. Number 3. The JI Case 2290. For many Midwestern farmers, the 2290 represented the heart of what Case stood for: strength, simplicity, and a quiet confidence that never faded, even after decades of hard work. Under its sturdy orange and white hood sat the Case 504 diesel, a big, slow-turning engine known for its endurance. This wasn't a high-strung machine, it didn't demand attention. Instead, the 504 delivered a deep reserve of torque that made heavy tillage, pulling large implements, or running grain carts feel surprisingly manageable. Farmers often described it as an engine that just kept chugging, no matter how long the day, or how difficult the conditions. One of the greatest strengths of the 2290 was its ability to work for extended hours without overheating or complaining. During harvest, when the sun hung low and the dust turned thick, this tractor kept its cool, and in springtime, when the ground was wet, cold, and stubborn, the 2290 dug in and pulled just the same. It was the kind of machine you trusted for the all-day jobs, the ones that couldn't be interrupted. The 2290 also carried the hallmark stability that Case tractors were known for. Another advantage was its strong electrical and hydraulic systems. These were areas where some tractors of the era struggled, but the 2290 performed reliably. The hydraulics delivered consistent flow for loaders, planters, and other equipment that demanded power. The electrical systems were straightforward, easy to maintain, easy to understand, and dependable in all kinds of weather. It was a tractor built to keep farmers moving instead of troubleshooting. The late 1970s and early 1980s were tough years, economically and emotionally, for many farming families. In those times, machines like the 2290 mattered. They didn't break easily. They didn't add problems. They simply worked, and kept working, and that reliability helped keep many operations pushing forward when it counted. Even today, you'll still find 2290s running on family farms, sometimes as primary tractors, sometimes as dependable backups, each one carrying decades of honest service in its faded paint and worn-out seats. The second one is one of the most powerful Allis-Chalmers has ever produced, and its engine is a beast. Number 2. The Allis-Chalmers 8070. we honor one of the strongest and most advanced tractors Allis-Chalmers ever built, the mighty 8070. It was the bold, bright orange powerhouse that proved Allis still had plenty of fight left in the 1980s. Under the hood, the 8070 carried the Allis-Chalmers 426 turbo diesel, an engine known for one defining trait: pure, unshakable strength. This engine delivered its power with a deep, confident surge, enough muscle to pull big implements, break tough ground, and handle long workdays without hesitation. It produced torque that seemed to rise and rise, giving the operator the feeling that the tractor always had more to give. That steady confidence helped the 8070 earn respect in fields where horsepower truly mattered, but power was only part of the story. The 8070 brought technology that felt ahead of its time. From advanced hydraulics to improved cab comfort, Allis-Chalmers designed this tractor to make long hours easier and more productive. The power-directed transmission gave operators quick, clean shifts under load, something that wasn't common across all brands at the time. Inside the cab, visibility and ergonomics were noticeably better than older generation tractors, making it clear that Allis was aiming for the future, and that future-minded design didn't come at the cost of toughness. The 8070 proved itself to be a machine capable of long-term, heavy-duty work. In time, the 8070 came to symbolize something powerful: the orange strength that defined Allis-Chalmers. It represented the company's final push to stand tall in an era of fierce competition. Today, these tractors still work the fields and pockets across the Midwest. For many farmers, seeing an 8070 at work brings back memories of a time when Allis-Chalmers dared to build a true contender. One powerful enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with the best of its era, a bright orange symbol of determination, a machine that never shied away from a challenge, a final, glorious chapter in the story of Allis-Chalmers. But number one, it was the IH model that was considered the king of durability, the one that Midwest farmers still spoke of with reverence. Number 1, the International Harvester 1086. At the center of this legend was the IH DT436 turbo diesel, one of the most reliable engines International Harvester ever built. This 6-cylinder powerhouse delivered smooth, steady strength without demanding much in return. It didn't matter if it was pulling big tillage equipment through wet spring soil, running a baler on a humid July afternoon, or hauling heavy wagons up a gravel road during harvest. The 1086 handled it all with calm determination. The DT436 became famous for its long life, low-maintenance nature, and ability to stay strong even after thousands of hard hours. What made the 1086 even more beloved was its versatility. It was truly a do-everything tractor. Needed to plow, it would plow. Needed to plant, it would plant. Needed to run augers, mow hay, or pull grain carts. The 1086 stepped up every time. Few tractors of its era matched its ability to handle such a broad range of work with so much consistency. For farms with tight budgets or limited equipment, the 1086 often became the centerpiece, the dependable machine that kept the whole operation moving. But power and versatility weren't its only strengths. The 1086 offered something that mattered deeply to operators who spent long days in the seat: comfort. Its cab, roomy and elevated, gave better visibility than many tractors of the time. The controls were within reach, and the air-conditioned cab, when well maintained, made long summer days far more bearable. For many farmers, this was the first tractor that truly felt like a step forward in operator comfort. It wasn't fancy, but it was genuinely pleasant to work in. Over the years, the 1086 became a timeless symbol of American farming. Even today, its red and white silhouette is instantly recognizable. You still see them running at auctions, on family farms, and in the fields at sunrise. These machines, built during one of the most turbulent chapters in IH history, stood strong when farmers needed reliability more than anything. They carried the weight of the farm, and did it with pride. And that's why the 1086 tops the list, a machine that was truly built to work. As we look back at these tractors from the 70s and 80s, we're really looking back at the people who ran them, farmers who worked with quiet strength, steady hands, and a belief in doing things the right way. These engines weren't just built to last, They were built to stand beside those who make their living from the land. If you've owned or driven any of these machines, share your memories below. Your stories keep this history alive. And thank you for spending this time with us.